All right, welcome back to the Knives Fast channel, guys. Say hello to Ren and Stimpy and Powder Toast Man, Log TV and Choo Choo, and let's get started with today's video. So I started off to do a video about these big knives that are on the bottom of the table here. By the way, this is the Knives Fast channel. If you're not subscribed, what's wrong with you? Hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, stick around, and go check us out on Instagram at Knives Fast as well. So I started off doing a video about these 7 large knives. I just wanted to talk kind of philosophy of, because a lot of people have told me, well, I would never use that, it's way too big. I would never carry that, it's way too big. And I will tell you, in many cases, this one for sure, this one for sure, this one for sure. I have actually also carried this, but not a lot. This is a new one that came in on the channel. But they're ones that I carry and use, so I found that interesting. But then I thought about, well, there's also a lot of people on my channel that often say small knives are ones that I don't use because they're too big for my hands. So I think this is more of a carry and use philosophy video than anything. This is not a review on any of these knives. This is just a fun video discussion where I would love to have your input down below in the comments. So let's do this. Let's start off, rather than taking off all the big knives or all the small knives, we're going to start by paring down to 3 of each, okay? So we're just going to do this, and we're going to open. Now, this is the Best Tech Keen 2. This big guy is one that just came in. This is the awesome, why am I going to blank on the name of it all of a sudden? This is the Concept Calibri Tech, and this is the biggest beast in the world. This is the Hoback Summit. And then small knife wise, you've got the Spyderco Dragonfly 2. You've got the, which I just carried a couple days ago. You've got the Benchmade 945 Mini Osborne, and you've got the wee Banter, not the baby Banter, the Banter, okay? So, so obviously we've got some crazy differences here. For example, this is over a 10-inch knife. This is right at a 10-inch knife. This is a just under 10-inch knife. This is about a 5-ish inch knife, a 6-inch, you know what I'm saying. So you got different stuff. Now, to me, each of this depends on the qualities of each knife. Now, one of the things I like about the Banter is two of the things. I get a 4-finger grip and I get a very thin, slicey blade. So this is a very useful knife for me because you get that combination of a very easy to carry knife. And I would say this is similar to that. I get a very lightweight knife. I get a 4-finger knife. And not quite as thin of a blade, but a very good cutting blade. Now, the difference on the Dragonfly here is I do not get a 4-finger grip back here, but I get, because Spyderco gets, the idea of ergonomics, I get a place to choke up, and I get a 4-finger grip here. And it is very thin and slicey. And by the way, because of the blade steel, which is crew wear, this guy is a material destroyer. Absolutely is. Now, let's go to the big ones. Now, let's just put the Summit in its own category. The Summit is a little big, okay? It's tall big, it's long big, and it has a thicker edge. It is, to me, the Summit is more of a fun, fidgety carry, loud noises, all kinds of things about this knife. Does it cut? Absolutely. It is sharp as sharp can be, but it's not super practical. And then we'll skip over to the Keen. I have carried the Keen quite a bit. Whoa, quite a bit. It is, guys, for the size, a fairly thin blade. And ergonomically, this thing is masterful. There's a lot left over, I get it, but I also have a big blade for getting down into stuff, for slicing without coming off of the edge, down and doing big cardboard cutting, things like that. And I would put that in that category. And the handle's taller, but not ridiculous. Now, in the case of the Calibri Tech, it is a very long knife, but it's not super, I got to get past that detent, it is not super beefy as far as the carry. Look at that. Very good ergonomics. This thing is fantastic. And the blade is actually pretty thin. It's still got kind of a thicker bevel here, but it cuts and it is sharp. So again, now carry-wise, this guy's this hogs the pocket. This is a pocket hog. These all carry fine. This to me is slender enough that it carries fine, and there's plenty of room left in my pocket. And with this guy, it doesn't take up a lot of pocket room at all. It is very slender and cool in that regard. So in other words, you kind of have your options, okay? So let's go through some more, and you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. We're just discussing and having some fun. There's no conclusions going to be drawn here or anything like that. Just going to talk about some really sweet knives, and you guys can tell me down below, what are the big knives you carry? Now, of course, we're leaving out medium. Maybe we'll do a medium-sized knife video down the road. Now, there is the awesome Miguron Valona. And guys, for the price, it is hard to beat this guy. Once you Loctite it, because you will need to do that, it is fantastic. I love the way the liners are done on this. It just fills my hand. It's got crowning. It's got a fuller. So good. Now another Hoback. This is the Hoback Quayback button lock. So that is cool. I got fidgety. I got front flipper. I got back flipper. I got a cool Tanto blade. And I've got fat carbon. Then talk about fidget. I've got the Kaiser Begleiter XL in my Carta. This was a White Mountain exclusive. This is a fantastic large knife. Again, I can get carried away there and it bounces back on me. There you go. Finally got the timing right. But very good thumb stud and flipper knife. Just fantastic. Fills the hand. Nice and slicey, okay? And then the last big knife here is kind of one that I would put in the category with the Summit. This guy, this is the Civivi Bull Mastiff, and this one's a little thicker in the pocket. This carries heavy. It carries very thick in the pocket, and the fuller works really well, and it's got great action, and it feels so good in the hand. Now, these big knives, this one cuts very well, by the way, for a cleaver. Very much. This guy is a high flat grind, very good cutting. This one is a good piercer. Not such a, it's a decent slicer, but you know, because of the blade shape. And then this guy is a fantastic slicer. So those are different. And again, these three carry fairly slim, but they carry fairly heavy. This guy carries pretty thick. Now, our small guys that are left, this is the Lander. Now, you guys know from my comments, the Lander is almost too small for me. It is, I cannot wait for the Lander 2. I'm off the edge just a little bit here, but thin and slicey, very lightweight, very stinking cool. You can change scales on it very easily. Guys, probably one of my top 2 or 3 favorite small knives, the Finch 1929. Again, a little small. I come off the edge, but I can choke up on the flipper choil, and this blade is fantastic for getting down in things. It is fantastic for slicing, and you just can't beat the looks and the action of this beautiful knife. And then the Rutley. Now, the Rutley is too small. If I choke up, I can get 4 fingers. And that is great, but back here it's definitely too small. But I carry this all the time as a 5th pocket knife, and it's a good cutter. It's not super fantastically thin, but it's a great utility cutter. Great for getting down in packages, and it's got a nail nick on both sides. Finch, please do this on every knife that you do nail nicks on. Give me that place to flick, to flick this guy open and have a blast, and it is just a cool knife. And then I gotta include my own knife, the microburst. Now the microburst is big enough that it's a 4-finger knife here, it's a 4-finger knife here, it's got choke up point there, it's got a great tip and it for getting down into things, and it also slices. It is so tall that it is thin and nice. Now, what's the point of this video, guys? There's not a super point. It's more like there are so many options. I choose not to be big knife guy, not to be small knife guy, but to be knife guy. And what I'm saying by that is there are so many options, and to me, they all work so well. It just depends on your case. Now, let's talk for a minute. Let's talk pairings. Okay, so what I like to do, what I think is really cool, and we're just gonna, let's close a few of these up. Now look at this. Look at these two together. We talk all the time about EDC pairings. Those two in the pocket together today, you know, would make a great pairing. You know, for example, really awesome. You could do something like, and now, by the way, you've got the great big knife covered, you've got the small knife covered. Something like these two together would be really cool. Now you've got the great big knife, again, one to kind of show off because you've got the expensive knife, you've got the mid-range price knife, you've got the small and beautiful covered as well. So you see where I'm headed here. This is just, I just think it opens all sorts of, oh, and don't even get me started on this beautiful carbon fiber paired up with something like this, or even, you know, something like that. So stinking, oh, or, yeah, look at this. These two together, fantastic. You just get so many options. So now you've got a small knife, a big knife, and then you know me, I'm probably going to stick a slip joint with those as well. So there's really not a point to this video. This is just me having some fun, showing off some cool knives, and hopefully getting some really good feedback. What do you prefer? Are you like me? Do you just like all of it? And, you know, or is there, do you prefer only, you know, are you Kurt Eisen out there? I see you, Kurt, and you only like big knives and you don't want any small knives. You know, I'm interested to hear everybody's opinion and thoughts. Man, I'm running out of room here. And really would like to hear it. So definitely give me your thoughts. I have run out of room. Poor Finch, you're going to be way out here. And Bull Mastiff, you're just way, barely up here. Okay, so there you go, guys. What do you think? Give me your thoughts down below. Hopefully this is a fun video for you. Give me a thumbs up, a comment, like, comment, subscribe, notification, all the things. And guys, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I thank you so much for watching the Knives Fast channel.